Joining me today is Ash Salardini, Economist at the Australian Railway Association, who will be speaking at IIR's Carbon Price Forum 2011, which takes place on the 19th to 20th July 2011 in Sydney. Hello Ash, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks, James.
First of all, do you think it's practical to set a carbon price in Australia?
Well, I think it's a lot of doom and gloom around the carbon price at the moment, but I think once it's implemented, it's going to be a very practical way of dealing with climate change. It's a polluter pay system, so we're charging polluters for the pollutions they create, and I don't think there could be a fairer system than that. I think the challenge is not to pass it on to the consumers, but that's a challenge that the government will have to address.
What do you think will be the impact on industries that are highly dependent on transport, such as yours?
Well, I think a $25 carbon price, which is being bandied around, won't do much purely just on the price. The carbon price is important, but it's where the revenues from the carbon price goes to that's the game changer. So we need to spend a little bit more on public transport and sustainable transport options. So, for example, if you put a carbon price on now, people who live in Camden and places that don't have very good public transport, or regional and rural areas, can't change the mode of transport. So we're just increasing their costs without giving them a carbon-friendly option such as public transport or rail.
And what do you think are the potential impacts of a possible fringe benefit tax cut?
Again, it's not a silver bullet just by itself, but it's a great positive step. Whatever makes car travel more expensive is necessarily good for public transport if those services are available. So we do need to put investment into public transport to make these policy options more viable and more effective.
And what low-carbon transport options exist?
Well, rail is an option that exists right now. It's 2 to 3 times more fuel efficient than road transport in the public transport sector, and in freight, it's up to 10 times more fuel efficient. So we have a ready-made low-carbon transport option now.
You're speaking at IIR's Carbon Price Forum, which takes place on the 19th to 20th July 2011 in Sydney. What will be the focus of your presentation?
I think the focus will be on the need for sustainable transport infrastructure. So we do have these policies coming out about a carbon price, but we don't want to think that that's the only thing that matters. It's actually putting some of that investment into low carbon solutions as well. And that's going to be the main focus of what I'll be talking about.
Ash Salardini, many thanks for your time.
Thanks, James.